Hi, and welcome back to Joel's DIY. I'm here with another turntable video that I wanted to demo today. This is an MCS or Modular Component Systems turntable. This is basically a clone of Technics various SL models, a little bit more high-end turntables. I recently picked this up at the Goodwill, and I wanted to demo this for you today and kind of show you some of the similarities and quality that this clone turntable has. I found that this turntable is very nice. It does come with a little bit of wear, and I knew this when I bought it because I picked this up at the Goodwill. But it's got all the nice features that most Technics turntables have. It's got a very nice tone arm. Just take a look at the construction of that tone arm. I mean, this is solid metal, and it's got a counterweight that goes all the way up to 4 grams. So that's not really common with most turntables. Most turntables go up to 3. So this is actually a heavier counterweight for heavier cartridges. And then you also got your typical anti-skating, and you have, didn't come with a head shell. I actually added this, and I got a Ortophone Omega currently set up on there. And let me see, it does come with a tone arm. Sorry, it does come with a metal platter, solid metal, and it is direct drive. I'll go ahead and just lift this up, and I wanted to actually pull the platter out because I wanted just to show you the flip side of that. And look, I'm not sure if this is some type of magnet, but I mean, I'm not sure what this is for exactly. Maybe someone in the comments might mention that. But this, to me, is very, very high end. I mean, this is a very heavy platter, high quality, and of course, it's not a brand that's typically known, but they do make a good turntable, very solid. And then you got your typical strobe there, and you got 33 and 45. I actually thought that this, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. I actually thought this middle one would be the 78, but apparently all this does is stops the turntable. So yeah, so that's actually a kind of like a nice feature in case you were listening to something and you had to leave, and you could just press this and it will stop it for you and just, you know, put it back on 33 to listen to your record. It's got a pitch control, and curious enough, I mean, I'm not sure why this feature is here, but you could play this up to 6 times, like one side of a record, or you can just have it on repeat. I suspect that this turntable could have also been set up to play multiple records, although it didn't come with one of those spindle pins in the middle there. You could, I'm sure it wouldn't be that difficult to just, for the manufacturer to just add the little retainer, and so that you can have your stack of records. But for some reason they didn't include it on this model, so we only get 1 record, but you can program it to do several different times, or you can just have it on repeat. These other ones don't really make any sense to me. I mean, why would you only want to play a record 6 times? I mean, you could just have it repeat continuously. But nonetheless, it's kind of a nice feature. Although, I mean, you could put it on 3, and every time it goes on to the next repeat, it'll go down to 2, and then 1, and then eventually 0. And when you hit 0, the tone arm will just return to its place. Another nice feature from this turntable is that you got a 7-inch, a 10-inch, and a 12-inch setting. I have seen some records that are 33 1/3 that are 10 inches. They're not very common, but they do exist. Typically 10-inch setting is for 78 RPM records, but it does work. Okay, and then obviously the last feature is the start and stop button for the turntable. So that's basically the front of it. And this little spindle thing here probably could have been, you could have used one of those top loading spindles, but didn't come with one. And obviously, like I mentioned before, they don't have the little retainer here. So we're just gonna get a single record to play here. One thing I also wanted to mention is the very typical of these type of turntables that you always have this broken hinge situation. This was pretty much a little DIY project that I did. I actually had a machine, basically my own hinge retainer. And what I did is I basically ground off the old retainer here and basically screwed on this thing that's made out of metal, much more sturdier, into the glass cover. And this actually worked okay. Obviously, the girth of the little piece of metal is not thick enough for it to permanently stay still, so it is a little loose. But I would think it's better than nothing. I did find a repair kit, and it's actually basically my idea, except that it's obviously used with a much better piece of metal. So I might do a follow-up video where I actually remove this hinge and I add the one that I've ordered online, and hopefully we'll see how well it works. But so far, this works pretty well. You can see right here. So yeah, so that stays put right there. So, and it does close well. So this is basically my temporary fix for this cover here. Okay, so here's the back, and as you can see, we get some details about where it was manufactured, the model number, catalog number, and distributed by JCPenney Company. And yes, they had actually manufactured turntables, which were basically Technics clones. I find that pretty interesting. New York, New York, and this is a product of Japan, so obviously the build quality is much better than what you would find on a cheap turntable these days. Okay, to start off, I'm just going to go over my rig for setting up the turntable. I got this stereo sound mixer that I bought. It's a Radio Shack brand. At this time, I don't have an amplifier that I can use, so I'm just going to go ahead and use this mixer. And I'm also going to be using this little Capello speaker. It's also a Bluetooth speaker. I think this will be sufficient to hear the quality of the turntable. I've actually used this setup before, and I was pretty content with the sound. And as I mentioned, you know, this is obviously going to sound a lot better if you have it with an amplifier, you know, outputting, you know, over 100 watts per speaker. So just bear that in mind. But what we're really looking at right now is this turntable and how well it works. And we'll go ahead and put one of my typical plays, which is this Reader's Digest cocktail piano tune, basically compilation. So we'll get that set up right now. And the dampening works really well on this tone arm. And just to show that the repeat function works, I'm going to go ahead and cue it up. And we're going to go ahead and move it all the way up to the end. I'll go ahead and switch it over to playing on repeat once. That way we can see it move. The little dial actually moves automatically, so as you can see, it moved automatically to signify that it's only going to play one time. Okay, so here's my final thought. I think that if you see one of these modular component systems, go for it. You're definitely going to get good quality. I just can't say enough good things about this tone arm. It's solid. You can see that the sound plays very well, even though it, I think a lot of it has to do with the cartridge that I added, the Ortophon. But it's very clear, and I think it's very good quality. You're more likely to probably find one of these than an actual Technics, because Technics, obviously, it's a much more well-known brand and also expensive. But I would say that the build quality that we have here is just as good. So if you do see one, don't pass it up. And that hinge fix is pretty easy. So, I mean, I think you should be able to either order the part, or if you have a little bit more of a better skill set, go ahead and grab, a couple of pieces of metal and you could probably machine it. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my video. Thank you for subscribing to all my new subscribers. We're over 700 subscribers, so I'm very grateful for that. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.